All right, this is a special session for the town board. Our main topic, basically our priority is going to be to review the budget and to make a motion to accept it as a preliminary budget and then schedule the public hearing for the budget. I know some of you people have talked to Dan, Paul, you talked with me. I did talk to Dan about the culverts that you were talking about. What was the amount?
So,
6,000, what was it?
Yeah.
6,000, is that what it is?
yeah, so in Southwoods, on Ironwood, on the corner, Twistle and Ironwood, there's two basins that need to put in there in piping. So Rick said about $5,000 would take care of all the water situation that they got there in the corner.
Okay. And in talking with you, Dan, you said that actually, because a lot of these insurances, we have to estimate, one of them came in, was it workers, or one of them came in about $10,000 short than what we had estimated, so we do have some money there.
So could we were gonna put that in drainage then and then vote on it next year in spring? Is that how we're gonna?
Well, we'll put it in the budget now, if the rest of the board wants to go with it.
Okay.
We'll put it in there and we'll take it out of the insurance, that's the easiest way.
Is this gonna be $5,000?
Yeah, that's shooting high. Our guys were gonna do the work. They did this on the reverse corner in Southwoods because it was a problem they had for like 20 years. So there was no, they had pipe coming into like a swale, so what would happen is the water would back up in the corner and then it would undermine the road, and actually Rick just repaired the road again because it took up all the paving that they put 2 years ago down, so.
Is it owned by Sheriff's House?
No, this is down further. This is down further. Forgot the name of the person on the corner, but the person on the corner is the one that got
Okay.
affected, and the road is really the biggest part.
Okay.
And then there's one street above that, and on that corner you have the same situation, because there's no catch basin there. So the water, what happens is all the water comes and just sits there in the road.
Okay.
And then what happens is it's just, over time it breaks up.
So, what are the two accounts? The drainage is like 8,000 or
Yeah, I
something?
got it, 8540.4. And actually, I health insurance, 9060.08.
Consensus from the board before,
Yes, that's fine.
Thanks, guys.
all right, so we increased drainage 8540.4 by 5,000, we decreased 9060.08 by the same amount, 5,000. Anything else? Gentlemen, comments, questions?
You got something else? Go ahead.
Well, yeah, just one more thing, and I think we spoke about this too, is, we put a lot of money into the area where Royal Brook Lane was, where your retention pond is, things like that nature. And, 3 years has gone by and it's worked so far for the small storms that we had. But now I went back there, in fact, I went back there this week, and it's overgrown again to the point that what's gonna happen is if that fills with water, all the debris that's in there is gonna clog the tributary that we put there, and we're gonna have the same problem. So, I don't see where we have something in here to cover those kind of things. Also, we have one, again, Southwoods, another area, in the back, there's trees growing in a retention pond. There's a retention pond on Pleasant Ave that constantly, every summer, we get multiple claims. And in fact, that's JP Kidwell's next door to him. So I was looking to see if there's something that we can do to get these on a normal rotation, clean out, fix, because if we do that, it's just gonna eliminate problems that we just keep having the same problem over and over again. So Pat was talking about, going out and specking out each one. Maybe we subcontract it out. If we do that, it's not really in this budget to do that, right, Pat? So.
Yeah, the idea was to bid it out, get a subcontractor, and that way we know it's gonna get done because it's contracted out. That way, if our highway department gets tied up with another project or something, we don't have to worry about it. I don't know, the problem is, I have no idea what we'd be looking at in cost.
Right.
Whether it's 15,000, 20,000, I mean, I would say we put something in there.
Yeah, I mean, in my
Try to
area
find
alone,
something.
I looked over, you know, after me and Pat talked, and I probably have about 10, 20 retention ponds all throughout my district alone, you know, that are there, so I'm sure you guys got a lot more than me, and, you know, especially, you know, Rich's district, I think there's a lot, right, and then yours with Beechwood Road and all that, so, you know, I don't know if maybe we can estimate, you know, per season, I mean, just to clean the weeds up and do regular lawn cleaning and pretty much rip out the trees that are in there now and just debris. I mean, the debris is the biggest thing, because what's in there right now is, it's all trees that are broken from everywhere. They've pushed themselves into it because it's a hole in the ground, so.
Well, I think it's more than just you're probably not proposing just one time, but it's multiple times throughout the year, because different storms is gonna cause different
Right,
issues.
right,
And I thought, when there's storms, you know, someone in Rick's team goes through and make sure that those things are functioning and so forth. But, our guys can't handle that in terms of,
Well, this is different. This is, you're absolutely right. I mean, after a storm, they will check if there's something, they'll go in and they'll clean it up. What this is basically, what would it be is an annual maintenance.
yeah, it's a grooming and so forth, right?
You know, because, let's say, for instance, that, up on Janet Terrace, you know, the ponds that we did up there, okay, you got some logs and stuff that went in there, yes, our crew will go in and clean it up, but I think what Paul's talking about is down below, you know, when you get down by Woodbury and, Rich Clark's house down there, you know, if it's starting to build up and you got sludge and stuff, you know, those are the things that we wanna be proactive on and dig out, maintain, et cetera. And they may not be automatically picked up by our guys, you know, because there may be water flowing down there. It's not flowing at the speed it should, but it's not flooding, and we let it go, we let it go. And this is what happened over the years when we did end up with those floods, because these detention basins just overgrew themselves. And, you know, I think what Paul's talking about, and I agree with him, is that regardless of what they look like, you know, you got silt that builds up on there, dig it out, you know? And I don't know if our highway department would have that much time to go around and cover, you know, Paul's saying he's got 10 or 15 in his, and I mean, you know, if we end up with 20 or 30 in the town, I don't know if our highway department's gonna have enough time to go around and clean them all out.
well, I know they don't have the equipment, because if you need an excavator to actually get from the middle out, because if you put any equipment in there, you're gonna bury it because it's so soft and, you know, so, you know, they don't even have the, you know, the machinery to pull little trees out and things. Like Royal Brook Lane, they couldn't do it, so we had to get some guy to come in and do that. But again, he did a good job, it worked great, but now you can start seeing it that the water's building up there, because it has nowhere to go again. The tributary that we dug out is full, you know, because the stuff is pushed downstream, and so, you know.
And another good example is Coy Creek, up by Chadwick's. You know, that creek literally got relocated because of everything that was being built up on that one side by the trailer park. It just pushed the whole stream, and then eventually when it flooded, it just took that whole bank, everything out. You know, if that had been maintained and you kept the creek where it was, you know, it's possible that that flooding wouldn't have been as bad, but.
So we're thinking, Paul, you're thinking, just an annual or 2 times a year, like a March, October type thing?
Well, that for the ones that are hidden, so there's one in South Woods behind the houses you don't see, so that would just be a tree clean out and just a clean out maybe once or twice. But then you look at the one that's on Pleasant Ave, it's right like at the beginning of subdevelopment that everyone sees, the weeds and everything are overgrown, that needs to be cut like at least, you know, every 2 weeks. Because we kind of have to keep the, I guess the same law too, we're asking people to cut their grass for a certain feet, but then we're not cutting our grass, and you know, you got beautiful homes over there, and then you got this place that's just totally overgrown with a, you know, fence that's falling down, and I mean, it's just not, you know, right, so.
Well, our park should be handling that portion. But I think what we'd be looking at, Jim, is starting April 1 and going to maybe October 1, and
Just
like I said, bid a contract, give the contract, and in there, it would say, you've got to go around to all of these detention ponds. And you gotta dig them out, you gotta make, and then after that, we have Rick or somebody go out and check them, make sure that there's not a problem with it. And then for the entire summer, they're going from detention pond to detention ponds and taking care of whatever's gotta be done.
I think there's probably varying degrees of issues with the detention ponds too. There may be some that really don't need any attention this year. Wonder if we could get them identified and prioritized and then have somebody go out and.
Well, we could, because what we could do is we could do it on an overlapping year, like
Right.
half this year, or half in 17, half in 18, or whatever.
Yeah, I think there's some value in having some grass, if you will, in the detention area.
Mhm.
It helps to keep from, the detention area from eroding too. You don't want trees growing, but,
Well, these aren't the bank walls, so the banks and then the plateaus, so that on the tops is where the grown grass and weeds are that people are complaining about,
Mhm.
because you
Right.
can't even see the retention pond, you just see weeds growing. So if we kept the tops flat, clean, nice, decent, then if it was growing inside, that really wouldn't matter how high it came, because it would still, it's below ground, so it would be fine. But we still gotta maintain the tops, and then we have fences up, so the weeds and everything's growing inside the fence, so it just looks really, really shade, it just doesn't look right,
so
so.
the question is how much? What do you wanna put in?
Well, I just asked Danny, what else you got here?
Yeah, again.
Where are we with the cap, Lou?
The cap is less than it was last year. Last year we were dealing with, what was it, 1.2.
0.6.
I mean, we don't have, this is no tax increase, okay? Last year, the tax cap, I guess, gave us 37,000, that was at 1.2, I don't know what it is this year, because you calculate that after the budget's been approved, but it's at 0.6 this year, so,
So it's about 15,000.
yeah, so, it's, and I'd hate to get up there, because, the refunds that people get are based upon where you go with that tax cap. For that kind of money, is it worth it, I'd rather see if we could find something else in here.
Well, like you were saying with the insurance, we estimated that, and we estimate conservatively, and now we, got some more actual numbers, some better numbers. I mean, there could possibly be another $10,000 that we could, this would be in general whole town, it wouldn't be in highway. Highway's a different contract, so I would say, we could possibly find another 10,000, I don't know what else you guys have.
Well, here's another thing too, I wish Rick was here, but, if we had an excavator, maybe we had a piece of equipment, I mean, no. All right, well, no, I'm just saying
And
that.
how many pieces of equipment rotted behind that garage? We used to have a grate on at one time. Okay.
Well, can we just acknowledge that this is an issue and kind of hold that thought and
Yeah.
see how we go?
Well, we could do
Rather than
that,
try and
'cause we're not
plug a
gonna
number
bid it
in.
now
Well,
anyway.
right, the only thing that I asked though, at least, because again, we put money, we use the mitigation money for Royal Brook Lane. That area right there, right now, just needs to be done, because if we do have flooding come this spring, that's not gonna work. I mean, and Rick looked at it, I looked at it, I mean, it's in rough shape right now. Again, we're back to almost where we started, and we invested all that money.
Yeah, right.
So even if we can get that cleaned out, I mean, at least that one, would be something major at this point, because that affects a couple streets down there, as we know.
What if we establish a new account for that? And just, Danny says you got, even if we take 5,000, at least we know it's there, and we're not gonna bid it until
Right.
real early springtime. And then at that point, maybe we find out what some of these figures are gonna come in actually,
Okay.
for insurance
Yep.
and stuff like
Would
that.
this be something that would be in whole town?
And if worse comes to worse, it's in the GEIS study there.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just afraid all the work we did,
You have to-
we start storming again, we went over there and the whole tributary we dug out is covered with, rock and trees and,
Well, we've done Woodbury, we've done Beechwood.
oh yeah, no, I
We don't
know,
want to lose those.
right.
There's a lot of, so, I don't know what insurance accounts we were talking about.
The same one, the 9060.
Okay, because you had that thing, okay. So you wanna take that other 5,000 out of there, we'll set up an account?
Yeah.
Right. So
Give me a number,
I'm gonna take 10,000 out of that 9060.08.
Right.
Now we're gonna add 5,000 to a new account, retention on
Why
maintenance.
don't you put it 8541.4, and that way it'll be right by drainage. And add 5 to that. Do we have a consensus on that now? What else, gentlemen? Dave, did you have something?
Yeah, and I spoke to Dan on some of these, but for the board's edification and maybe your input, AA 1940-4, payment to county property tax, $9,000.
That's that one we talked, I made a new line item this year, we've had it in the past, we don't usually get the invoice from the county, it's not really an invoice, but they give us a number to put in our budget for.
Oh, for those, for the certiorari stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, what happens is, like I was saying before, when we have certioraries, and a lot of ones that Danny's talking about are the ones off the small ones, like the houses and stuff.
Right.
The county pays the refund, and then they send us a list, and they say, pay us. I think that's what you're talking about.
Right, he's got a copy of that in the actual thing.
About you.
I wasn't sure what some of the charge, some of them are sewer charges, the $20 unit charge. I've never really been able to actually check that, what we're paying the county, but that's what that line
And
item.
there's a bunch of $20 and.
Well, the $20 would be the sewer charge.
Yeah, I know, why,
We would,
why some and not others, and, the certioraries are pretty, those are down at the
Yeah.
bottom, those are pretty straightforward.
That's the bulk of it, and then there's a licensing fee for the software that is used. But there's a lot of these smaller charges that I can't really explain.
And this isn't new, it's just a new item, line item, basically, that we haven't
Correct.
seen before.
Correct.
Right.
Oneida County Board of Legislators. Yes, so this is something that the county, it's gotta be something that they cancel the,
Yeah, explain,
County
kind of,
property?
the verbiage there kind of explains.
Some of it is school, and some of it is sewer.
was this the thing that we went through? When they said that we couldn't charge sewer charges to certain exempt organizations?
I'm wondering if that's it, I
I
wonder
don't
if
know,
that's
maybe
how
that's
they,
it.
I wonder if
I-
that's how they
something-
charged it back.
I mean, to me, that's probably the only thing I could think of. Because it seems to be all these properties down here.
But if we paid that every year,
Well, I don't know if that's every year, because we probably don't have it on the tax bill this year.
Yeah, cancellation especially.
You know what I'm saying?
yes.
So it's probably what they paid last year, and I can't remember when that happened, when we took them off the tax rolls. I'd have to check with Darlene and see. Do you remember that, Herb, when that came?
No, but these are consecutive
Right.
numbers too, like 226, 227, 228, 229. They'd be adjoining properties, 242, 245,
So
246,
it's not
247.
tax exempt status.
251, no,
No.
252, 253. Those are lots that somehow came off the rolls. I could talk to Darlene and check this out.
All right.
I'd be happy to.
Okay, the other, AA 9060.9, 15% contributions, health insurance.
That's what we get back from the non-union people.
Okay, and that reflects the highway department? No, just parks and whatever else is,
Non-union.
oh, I'm sorry, non-union, okay,
Yeah.
okay, yes, okay.
Well, parks now, because they're contributing too, right?
Right. Well, that's why it went up.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, obviously, you're not anticipating highway yet.
No.
No.
So if you look at DB, there's
Yeah,
no
correct.
contra subtraction account.
Okay, and AA 1001-2, real property tax, vacant house, 31.5.
Yeah. What that is, I was telling Dave, is what we're gonna try to get back this year. It's the demo work that we've done in 2016.
Oh, right, they're receivable, basically.
Yeah, then we're gonna try to get back, which
From the county.
we can't put in, well, we can't put in the tax bill.
Right.
I was told we have to, I don't know if we have to bring a suit against the property owner or.
I'm dealing with the county, I'm
Yeah.
dealing with Peter Ray.
So that's our cost that we incurred in 16.
Because our legislation said we could add it to the tax bill.
Okay, to recoup in 2017. So that's what that is.
And AA 2530, games of chance licenses,
We've been in the casino.
Mhm.
up by
Word electric.
I don't know,
$4,400.
again,
Rich's idea.
Up by $4,400.
It's bingo and stuff.
Oh, that,
Plus the licenses for like a Legion.
that was, we issued the Children's Miracle Network, and they, the town, because they went over a certain amount of money, $30,000, the town got a percentage.
Same thing with the Legion, right? When they
Yeah.
had the Queen of Hearts, if they
Yeah.
go over a certain amount, we get more money.
Yeah.
And that's relatively new because the Legion just started the Queen of Hearts about a year or two.
That just looked like
yeah.
a windfall from the games of chance. I've already talked about that with Dan. Miscellaneous BP 5031-1 mitigation fees. Where do we get that?
Revenue.
And police?
Yeah, BP 503111. It's on BP.
Or town police.
5031, what was it?
50, the mitigation.
5031-1.
Yeah.
Where do we get that figure? Is that based on,
That would be an estimate, right?
It's an
Yeah,
estimate.
it's an estimate of what you think.
Because we always allocate a car up there, cars have gone up, and equipment for the cars, et cetera.
okay,
So it's an estimate. But as you say though, anything that gets used obviously goes through board motion when it comes to mitigation fees.
gasoline is down, but we're kind of holding our gasoline and diesel with fingers crossed. Russian leaves.
With the gasoline, doesn't Rick hedge against that anyway for the winter? Doesn't he
No.
pay, does he set a price that he pays? No?
Well, it's a contract, but it's,
It's a kind,
Yes,
yes.
and the cost is.
the workers' comp, DB 9040-8.
Yeah, those are figures I get directly from Barb based on, previous claims, and it's, based on what
Our
actually.
comp claims our comp costs should have gone down this
They
year.
did.
Okay.
If you add up all the
That's what-
figures, because we've allocated them by
Different
department, but if you add them up, it's actually a figure that we got from the county as to what our comp cost is gonna be for 2017. And it did go down.
Okay. And then, state aid DB 3505-0, that's again with our fingers crossed, right? That's a
It's like
That's a grant.
100,000 Griffo money.
That's a grant from,
That's the 100,000, as you recall, that we were supposed to get
right,
from Joe Griffo's office, but got delayed or whatever, and we're hoping to get it next year. If we don't get it, then it's gonna be $100,000 that we take out of paving, because that's what it was supposed to be for.
Okay.
I'm sure.
So we were supposed to get it, we didn't get it, we're not
Still
supposed to get it.
And we were told we will get it in 2017, which is why we held off on some of the paving in 2016.
Okay. That's all I've got.
So one on AA 7310-01, the youth employment program?
Yes.
Just,
That's just, we changed the accounts, let's see. 1470, is that what you were talking about?
7310,
Yeah, now it's over, it's at AA 147, because the town.
It used to be
clerk's
under
out.
parks, but
Yeah,
now
town clerk is taking.
Melody
over.
does it out of
Yeah,
her stuff.
that's all.
I was wondering about that.
Rich? Jim, you got anything else?
Things like, sales tax, we'll talk about that, what is the total?
We budgeted the same as what we budgeted last year, 5.3, plus, some, a little over 5.3.
I know there's been some talk about some changing form, yeah. Any insight on that, or?
Yeah, we're looking to become a city. Then we don't have to worry about what the county does. The insight on that is, yes, you're absolutely right. This is something that the county executive talked to me about way back in February. At that time, he said that I will give you a call in a short period of time, and he wanted to get myself, the mayors of the two city, and he together to discuss this. Well, I never heard from him, even though I saw him on a couple of occasions, and from what I heard from people down at the county, he was working on this. Problem is, can't figure out how to do it. That's basically what it is. And then as everybody here knows, from reading in the paper, he basically formed a committee to look into it. What I know at this point is the three people that were picked from the three towns, now I've heard that the county executive may not choose them and may choose somebody from the bigger towns. But I have not heard from the county executive, but that's sort of the buzz, if you will, that's going around.
So I guess the 5.3 is still a good number.
Yeah.
So are we tracking that now? I mean, I know we're tracking, that's not the question, but are we on target for that?
Yeah.
So it's,
We should come in at that for 2016.
And I think if they do it, it won't be in effect next year, but the year after.
sure.
We didn't put any monies to pay back the sewer fund.
I don't believe so.
There's really no budgetary change, it's a loan.
Yeah.
So at any point in time, to be honest with you,
Cash,
Danny, it's
just
just a matter of
cash.
shuffling cash from one to the other. It's, to be
Yeah,
honest with you, and I don't
I'll
mean
look
to
at that.
sound shady here, but it's an accounting entry to basically take the cash out of whole town, put it into whatchamacallit, basically alleviate that due to, due from.
But when you do that within council, we have to make a resolution from the board to transfer
yeah.
funds, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
But
that's-
it's not an expenditure within the budget, though.
Right.
Is there a certain time frame we have to worry about that, or not really?
Well, we should do it as soon as possible. To be honest with you, Rich, I apologize, because I know we were doing so much every year, and it's slipped my mind, I gotta be honest with you. But we can do it. How about by next week, Danny, you and I will get together and we'll figure how much, cash we could transfer over to sewer, and we'll bring it up to the board.
Yeah, I know we did it a few years back, we
Yeah.
did 50,000 or whatever.
Yeah, we were gonna try to do it, and it slipped my mind. But why don't we get together tomorrow or Monday, and we'll come up with a figure for the board.
Okay.
It's a good point, Rich, thanks for reminding us.
We had it from Dave and Paul had a lot of the
Huh?
other points that I had, so I'm all set.
Well said.
Hey, well, I had another thing I just wanted to bring up, because it's a new year, so, I know we looked at the electrical inspection service, which was good for the educational background that we required, but we charged a fee that I think we kind of turned it into a monopoly almost, and a lot of people I've talked to have had a lot of complaints about only being able to get certain people to do it, and the only people you can get to do it right now is in Syracuse, and I know I've used the service a few times, and it's hard because the guys are backlogged, and they gotta come from Syracuse to do an inspection. A lot of the local guys, even if they had the educational background to do the right inspections, you know, it's not really worth it for them, for the fee for their company, plus each person that's in there. So I thought if we reduced the fee, we'd get more people, we'll still wind up with the same, but at least we'll have a bigger, you know, clientele of inspectors out there that, you know, keep the education part, so the safety fact is there, but lower the fee a little bit, so a little couple more people can come in an arena. Because right now, we only have two firms, and they're not even local, they're Syracuse firms. So every time you call them, you know, you're waiting 3-4 days to get an inspection. and
What's the fee now?
It's over $1,000. Well, it's $1,000 per company and $1,000 per person.
Didn't we do what Joe wanted? Didn't Joe want that legislation?
Yeah, but talking with Joe, he even said too, you know, it's, you know, what he really wanted was the educational part of it, not the
Okay.
fee structure, but he wanted them to be certified so they come and give a good, safe inspection, which that I understand, because there was a lot of inspectors out there that were doing, you know, shoddy inspections, so that's where this came about, but the fee thing is kind of eliminating almost everybody. I mean,
Why don't you talk with Joe, see what?
well, I
Yeah,
did.
maybe we can look at DeWitt, some of the other jurisdictions, they're all online and see.
Yeah, they're
if-
$50.
Is that what they are?
Yeah, they're $50 for the fee, but it's just an it's just so they charge $150 for the company and $50 per person. We charge $1,000 plus $1,000 per person.
Wait a minute, we charge the company 1,000 plus everybody in their company
That's,
1,000?
and,
That doesn't sound right. I don't think that's the way the legislation is supposed to be. I think it was $1,000 for a company or an individual, one or the other, but I don't.
And the
think-
individual had to be certified. had to have-
right, no, that's understandable, yeah,
No,
yeah. Oh.
But I don't think it's per individual.
Right, I don't either.
I don't-
Well, I'm just, right now, we only have 2 companies, they're both from Syracuse, and if you call them for a disconnect, reconnect for a house or anything like that, you're waiting at least 3 days. You know, maybe you'll wait a little bit less if the guy's in Albany, he's gotta drive through and he stops, but besides that. And not only that, they're not even following up, because I used one for an inspection, and they came, they did the pre-inspection in wall wiring, and then they never came back to do the final, you know, and called, finally got them after like 6 days, so.
I mean, I don't have a problem getting more people in there that are qualified.
Well, that's what I,
Would
you
you
know,
check with Joe
Yeah.
or Herb and check
Yeah.
on that law and see exactly what it reads at this point?
Yeah.
So we can make a,
That
I
was
mean,
brought
if it
to
is
us by
per person, then
Joe
we
brought it.
change
Joe brought it to us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Something got,
but it was the educational part that he really brought, because I was here when he did it. He brought, because he wanted the people that were certified, which is understandable, you know, to have a good guy do an inspection, that's right.
Well, we have to,
But
because
then-
we had a lot of.
Oh, yeah, no, I
inspections
agree,
and
I agree with
problems.
that, but that's not the issue, because there's a lot of good certified guys that are around. But, you know, inspection's only $75, so, you know, he's gotta do, you know, 15 inspections before he breaks even,
Right.
plus his insurance is not even worth it for him, you know?
Right, well, we'll have Herb check with Joe and
Yeah.
check the
Okay.
legislation too, Herb, to see what that is. Because if it reads 1,000 for the company and 1,000 for everybody, that
makes
doesn't
no
make sense.
sense.
So we would have to change. not
So if
only
a
the
company
fee, but
has
the
10
structure.
people, they have to pay $10,000?
Yeah, that's not right.
That doesn't sound right.
We ain't getting that much.
Well, no, that's why we have nobody though. Like I said, there's only 2 companies and it's a 2-man
Well,
team.
check and just make sure that the legislation is
Yeah.
correct before we start reducing the fee, all right?
But even at the company level though, because like, again, there's people that are local that have been doing inspections for 30 years that are good. But for them to spend $1,000 because, you know, they have an LLC and they're a 1-man show, you know, again, they're not joining up because their break even is 15, 20 inspections with their insurance and everything.
I understand.
It eliminates it, and they're local, they're guys that we used to call before and they're out there in 3
I don't
hours.
think anybody disagrees, we'll just have Herb check to make
Okay.
sure how that legislation reads so that we could come up with a reasonable figure.
Okay.
Anything else?
Where do we stand on bonding? What is your thoughts? Where are we going this year on bonding?
Well, Paul brought up something with regards to paving Tilden Ave. I know that the highway had a couple of pieces of equipment which we took out. I know Joe Booth, his car is quite old, he was looking for
I
a
have
new
a list
vehicle
of
over
all the
there.
departments.
Dan's got a bunch of them, but in the past, what we've always done is because it really has not much to do with the budget,
Right.
except for the repayment. Once we get the budget passed, or at the time that we pass the budget, we'll pass, a bonding resolution, pick those up. And Dan, why don't you get a copy out to all the board members of the wish list, if you will, of what the departments are looking at?
What percentage are we at of our bonding?
As far as the debt, I think that
6
one
or
is,
7?
what's that?
6 or 7?
Yeah, that's what you're right, that was what I was gonna say.
And what's our max?
100%? I mean, we're well below.
Okay.
When you get into problems is when you start getting up into 40, 50%, then you get into, where people are gonna start looking at you from like the bond rating companies and stuff like this. But I think if you talk with, like Shahadi's company, fiscal advisors, they'll tell you 6-7% as well.
You, in the past, I think you've done a spreadsheet that shows exactly where we are, what's coming off, and what dates.
Yeah.
Is
I
that,
got, yeah, oh, absolutely.
When you
Okay.
send out that stuff, send that out to the board also. Anything else?
Just got one more question for you.
No, wait a minute.
That's it.
You're
That's
getting
it.
like, you're getting like Columbo. Oh, one more thing.
that's your third last question.
That's the third last
He's too
question.
young to know who
All right, go
Columbia
ahead.
is.
So people, you know how we have the drainage pipes done in people's driveways and stuff, and then they pay for it? Does that go back into that drainage account so the next person can do it? No?
No, because that's not how the accounting works.
Okay.
It goes back in as a fee, like in highway, that's where it is, now it comes out. What is the clarification on that? I mean, what do they actually pay for?
They pay for material.
The pipe.
So all the material?
Yeah, all the material, the paving, everything.
Okay, because I think at one point it was just a pipe.
I thought that's all they paid for.
No, they pay paving,
Well,
rock.
I know that's
Yeah.
where it is now, but
Right.
we ought to
I
make
think
that
you're right, there
clear.
was a time when all they had to pay for was
Was
the
the
pipe.
pipe.
But then, there was.
John Topper.
Yeah, then there was, well, we gotta put some stone in and we gotta.
Okay,
rebuild.
well, we ought to clarify that, because I think there's residents out there, and I thought it was still that way,
Yeah, we-
that when we do this, it's, the town policy is, materials, and we take care of the labor.
Yeah, I mean, it's averaging about 500 a driveway for all material. So that's what it's been. But like towards the end of the year, if we have so many accounts, then at the end of the year, to do more, more of them, where would that money be pulled from?
We have to make a budget adjustment. What do you mean?
So like, all right, so
Well,
it's,
we wouldn't, because it's just a replacement.
yeah, but it doesn't replace that account though.
Well, no, well, what you would do is you would increase the revenue account and increase the expenditure on the budget.
Okay, so we could pull that out if we get close, because if we got close this year and we didn't do them because Rick said there wasn't enough money in the account.
But you see, there should be. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Because if they're reimbursing us for all of the
Yeah,
There's no
materials,
cost.
there's no cost.
Right, but that's
So
what
it's
he's saying, that money's going back in the whole town.
No, it's not, it's going in highway, it goes under departmental fees, which is highway.
Okay.
So
And
we
it
have
has
to
to go that way.
budget adjustment to increase the revenue and increase the
Right.
expense each time.
Right, so I mean, if you
Okay.
come to the end of the year and 100 people want it, yeah, we just increase the revenue to
Okay.
whatever is 5,700 or whatever, and we increase
Like
it.
Eileen does with seniors, when she gets a donation.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right, so we gotta talk, because there's been 3 or 4 of them already that we've done, that didn't happen. So the money came in from the residents, they went and paid Gail, and then from there, it wasn't back, it's back in wherever, we don't know. And Rick didn't know either.
I'll have to look, it should go, when it goes
Hey,
together, it gets assigned.
You wanna say something?
Yeah, the account number that was given to us by the accounting department a long time ago goes in the whole town.
Oh, no, it should go in,
Okay.
we should put that, Danny, why don't you change it, it should be in a,
Yeah, so after we do like a few driveways or whatever, then Rick's like, we can't do anymore, but we got reimbursed, so it's like that money really just replenishes and then,
yeah.
You have to do something through.
so we stop all the
Check
time.
that out, Danny, and,
Dan, if it goes in highway, can you give me the account numbers, because I'll have to change it in our accounting system.
Yeah.
yeah, 'cause I didn't know that, I didn't realize it. But it should go under one of these, 2,700 accounts, Danny, just set one up. You do 2,700.
Yeah, 'cause he pulls it out of,
Where's he pulling the expense?
that's what I'm looking right now, I didn't remember the number at the time.
Well, probably just goes into the classifications like corpropia and stone and stuff. I don't think he's got it broken out individually.
Yeah, I think he was
No,
pulling,
it wasn't.
he was pulling it out, yeah, like you said,
Drain.
pipe or something, he was pulling it out of,
It's listed as drain pipe or something.
drain pipe or,
Well, that may be, but what about the
AA2,
corpropia and
773.
the stone?
Yeah.
I think it's just coming out of the general
I
account.
said drain pipe.
yeah, there it is, the sale of drain pipe.
AA 2773-3.
How much is?
So why don't you change that around, Danny?
We got, well, on here we have 15.
So if that gets replenished, then that would be able to just keep going and finish the jobs every year, but we always go short because there's no money left. And he's like, no, there's no money left in the account. So I was like, but they replenished it, and he's like, well, they take,
I wish somebody told me, because we would have transferred it back to
Okay.
the highway and taken care of it.
What was that revenue account you mentioned in there?
Well, it's listed here, it's AA 2773-3, sale of drainage pipe. We got an intended budget for 15,000. That's too high.
Yeah, that sounds high.
It does sound high.
You know, that's-
So, and it went from, well, 20, 25, 5, and then 15. I think it might be on the pretense that it's
It's
not being replenished. Yeah. So,
yeah, because that was the one, when I went over with Rick, it's because we're not able to get, for 5,000, we just weren't able to get all the stuff done we had to
So
do,
we
so.
bumped it to 15.
Right, so then we'd have money in there to do it, but then it would get
But-
reim,
but now it's gonna, because it wasn't seen yet, according to what we're hearing, is that it wasn't going back into that fund, so we couldn't buy any, purchase any more.
do you know how many checks roundabout that you got? Because I know, no?
I couldn't tell you.
There you go.
I mean, I could look it up tomorrow.
I mean,
So is that something we wanna change in this budget?
I would think so. I think,
We'll just change around, put it in highway. We'll just go from fund to
but
Yeah,
even
but
that
the
number is a
15,000
little high.
is-
Right, don't you think?
fund. Huh?
I think the 15,000 is high.
It sounds very high, I didn't notice it in there.
Well,
I
year
don't know why.
to date, the 16th through August, we've got 11,000 in that account that we received.
I don't know what that is though.
The sale of drainage pipe account.
That's what that all was?
I don't know if that's what all that is, what other
Wow, that
drainage
sounds
pipe.
like a
That's a
lot.
lot of drainage pipe.
I mean,
I don't
that's,
think there's that many driveways, but.
Yeah, well, we've been doing a lot.
Well,
It
I
kind
mean,
of varies.
I know we did,
We did probably at least 2,500.
25,
and I'm sure they're not all coming in at 5. I mean, some might come in at 7 or 1,000.
Yeah, but I
you
mean,
know,
average has been about 500, 550, around there.
So I say we
Could
bring
be.
it down to 10. Put more than 5 somewhere else.
Could we put the 5 in the,
No.
well, no, well, this helps everybody,
well,
look.
wait a minute, you're cutting revenue here, you're
Yeah,
not
right.
cutting an
Right,
expenditure.
you're cutting revenue.
So we gotta cut an expenditure to make up what Jim's talking about.
Why don't we leave it in there for now?
Yeah, but you have to have something coming,
He gave, Rick, that
Nah,
number
that's
came
still
from Rick.
Right,
He
leave it in there and then
wasn't,
explain
maybe
the
he knows,
adjustments you're gonna make.
Right,
Rick,
I
But,
think that's the best way, and then we'll make the budgetary adjustment
well,
afterwards.
let me just make sure I get this straight. If I'm taking, the 15,000 is gonna stay the same, but am I taking it out of the whole town and putting it in the highway?
Yes, and we'll have to make an adjustment, but we'll make a budgetary adjustment until we get this passed.
But, so I'm $15,000 short
I
of
know.
general whole town.
That's what I mean, we'll have to make a budgetary adjustment, because what we'll do is we'll increase that, and then we're gonna have to take sales tax out of highway
I
and
can
put
just,
it back in the whole
I
time.
mean, I can just, yeah,
Right,
just do that for the preliminary budget.
Wait, right there.
we
I
can,
mean,
I'm sorry.
where else is that gonna come from?
Well, there's no reason why you wouldn't, because the highway balances now, so you would take 15 from the whole town and transfer the 15 of sales tax from the highway over to the whole town.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Not 17, no, this is 17, right?
Well,
I know.
the statute
Yeah.
on the electrical,
The way I look at it, it seems okay.
Yeah, but here's the sale of drainage pipe, right? But then you have drainage pipe expenditure.
Where?
See,
Is
what
that-
I
is
don't
that not right?
understand,
What's this done for?
That's not for just driveways, that's
for us, whatever they're
It's
Oh,
doing.
drainage?
drainage.
That's stormwater.
Yeah,
That's stormwater, that's not that.
drainage.
Okay, so you didn't have 20 we're spending and we're getting 15 back, is that how, no? Okay.
That electrical fee is
I know.
$1,000
well, the difference
for
is
the
here.
primary inspector, and an additional fee of $250 for each additional inspector employed to perform inspections in the town of New Hartford.
Right.
So most of them will have one guy, it's $1,000. If they want to have somebody else designated as well, it's $250
Pandora's box.
for that person.
Right. But if we opened it up.
No, I just wanted to clarify.
No, okay,
I thought
so-
it was like 1,000 and then there's 1,000 for each other.
But if it's under the same corporation, right? Under the same, so if you have an LLC and you have another person that's working for you, it's okay.
Right.
But each person really pays $1,000 if they're not in the same company itself, I mean, if they're not a work employee. But if they're a partner, they pay,
$250. So
okay.
I own the company and
Yeah.
I designate
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Rich as my guy to do my inspections. I pay $1,000 for him to do the inspections.
Okay,
But
He's
if
the
you do it,
inspector.
then it's another
Right.
$250.
right, okay.
All right, let's get back to this thing.
I
Yeah,
looked it up.
So
Okay.
what do you think if we did per company, if we lowered
Well, let me
that
talk to Joe.
to get more
Yeah,
people?
let's talk to Joe
Okay.
and then I'll come back.
I just
On
want-
this thing, what we're gonna do is, since we're gonna transfer that $15,000 of revenue over to highway, what we'll do is we're going to take that $15,000 of revenue of culvert pipes sales out of Whole Town. We'll increase the sales tax in Whole Town. We'll add the 15,000 in culvert pipe in highway and drop the sales tax in highway by 15,000 and it all evens out.
Reallocating the sales tax, basically.
Yeah. Well, you're not dropping the revenue because you're adding that 15,000 over the highway, so.
Good.
Anything else, Mike?
Just one.
Just not good, thank you.
Rich, you're all set. Dave, you anything? Jimmy? Okay, based on those, and Gail, did you get them all? If not, Danny will get them.
I'll clarify this.
Based upon what Danny's got for you.
So we're gonna come out probably at the same figure, so is it the?
Yeah, we're just exchanging.
Yeah,
revenues.
Tax rate will not change. Based on those changes that we made tonight, do we have a motion to pass this as our preliminary budget for the year 2017?
Make a motion.
And this includes all the special districts also. Motion by Paul, second.
A second?
Second by Rich. Discussion. All in favor? Aye. I know, Jim, you got one thing, but before we get into that, we do have a court-ordered repayment of certiorari for Utica National. We'd like to get that taken care of because we have actually passed the deadline where we would have to start paying interest on this. So we'd like to get it passed tonight. The reason and why we're paying for this is because normally the county would pay any of these certioraries and then we would refund the county. However, this was a pilot program, so it didn't go through the county because pilot programs, payments come directly to us. Therefore, we have to pay it back, okay? And it's in the amount of how much?
$46,879.98.
And this is the court order,
Yes,
right?
that's the one Mr. Vincelette was handling.
So, you know, basically, we don't have any alternative, but
Where's it
We
come
want 'em-
from? Where's the money come from for
all
that?
those accounts that Danny's
Oh,
listed
okay.
there, which is where the tax went originally.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Jim,
Second.
second by Dave.
I actually need somebody to, a few signatures on there in order to get it through Gail.
Discussion? There's no discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Jimmy, you got something?
Yeah, just some training for zoning and codes. So we have, I'd like to make a motion for Dory Shaw, Tom Rollins, Anthony Clement to attend New York State training in Rome. It's $10 each for a total of $30.
Second.
Second, motion by Jim, second by Dave, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Anything else, gentlemen? All right, we need a motion to set the public hearing for the budget, which would be
November 9th.
November 9th.
Make a motion.
Motion by Jim, second by Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And at that same meeting, I'm assuming, Jim, you included it in this motion that is also for the special district budgets also.
That's what the special district.
Thank you. Anything else, gentlemen, before we,
Did they have a chance to read the minutes?
I did.
October 5th, if not,
we want to do that tonight, or you want to do it next week? Or-
I can read them.
Okay, you want to do it now, gentlemen?
I didn't read them.
Okay, why don't we wait till next week?
Just the last thing, Herb, next meeting, if you look into that with Joe, the electrical inspecting thing, is something that the board wants to look at to try to make it a
Yep.
little more, a couple more people on board.
And I wanted to tell you, I ran into Dave Sharp, and he couldn't be happier. He said that whatever we worked out for his drainage problem up there, he said he's had no problems whatsoever.
That's
Ended up
great.
selling the house, actually.
Okay, do you have one more thing?
No, I just have to do it for the next meeting.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, if there's nothing else, motion for adjourn?
Can I keep this?
Yes.
Whose is it?
Well, it
Just a
was mine,
copy,
but
copy.
We got one.
All right.
Make a
Motion
motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Jim, second by Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you, gentlemen.